Known for its iconic skyline, lush greenery, bustling hawker centers, and world-class cuisine, Singapore is a true blend of modern innovation and rich heritage. So join us as we explore the iconic landmarks and indulge in some delicious local flavors. This is the Singapore Vlog. So let's take it back to day 0. Starting at LAX, we saved up all of our points for over a year so we could fly business class on our honeymoon to Singapore, and that gave us access to the Star Alliance Lounge, which, I'll be honest, the food was pretty mid, but the vibes were immaculate. So we were flying Singapore Airlines, and the flight from LAX to Singapore was going to be 15 hours. So we were glad that we had these lie flat seats. They were such a game changer. So after we got seated, they gave us some hot towels and some orange juice. And then once we took off, we got some champagne and salted nuts. Before we knew it, it was time for the meal service, and we started off with this shrimp salad with a citrus vinaigrette. I was honestly so surprised at how delicious and fresh it was. And of course, I had to try the famous Singapore Airlines garlic bread, and it did not disappoint. So before our flights, we both booked the cook, and Andrew got this enormous veal cutlet. I opted for something lighter and decided to get the seafood congee. Honestly, at first glance, I was a little underwhelmed, but this bowl of congee was so comforting and flavorful. The seafood was so delicate, I highly recommend. And of course, the meal would not be complete without dessert, so I opted for the chocolate ice cream with shaved chocolate, and this was the perfect end to the meal. After the meal service, the flight attendants came and helped us make our beds, and I knocked out. This was probably the best sleep I've ever had on an airplane, and when I woke up, it was already time for breakfast. So I started off with this croissant, and this might be the best croissant I've ever had on a plane. It was warm, buttery, and flaky, honestly so good. So for breakfast, Andrew and I both chose to get the char siu wonton egg noodles, and y'all, I am shook that this bowl of noodles was served to me on a plane. It was so delicious. The wontons were so flavorful. The Singapore Airlines really knocked it out of the park with all of their food. And then after a 15-hour flight, we finally landed in Singapore. It was about 6 in the morning when we arrived, so we headed to our hotel to drop off our bags, but luckily they let us check in without paying an early check-in fee. So for our trip in Singapore, we're staying at the Andaz, which is right by Haji Lane in the Kampong Glam neighborhood. The room was spacious and well-designed, and I really loved the modern aesthetic and, of course, the view from the window. One of my favorite things about staying at the Andaz was the sunroom that was connected to the lobby that offered complimentary coffee, snacks, and refreshments for all of their guests. And trust me, there was nothing we needed more before exploring the city than a double espresso. So after we got our caffeine fix, of course, the first stop was breakfast, and we had to try out the famous Ya Kun Kaya toast. So kaya toast is kaya jam, which is like a pandan coconut sweet custardy jam slathered on crispy bread with slabs of butter. It's a popular breakfast choice here in Singapore, and Ya Kun Kaya toast is one of the many chains available. The sweet kaya jam paired with the salty butter was so good, I could literally eat this every day. Kaya toast is typically served with soft-boiled eggs as well, and you can mix soy sauce and white pepper into them. Now here's Andrew attempting to eat his egg in one bite, which he miserably failed at. So we're currently at the Long Bar, which is the bar the original Singapore sling was invented. And a Singapore sling here is 41 Singaporean dollars, which is equivalent to about 31 US dollars. So So we didn't do the conversion until after we ordered, and we got 2 Singapore slings. So here we are, trying to eat $31 worth of peanuts. This better be the best damn Singapore sling we've ever had. Cheers. Alright. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So that night for dinner, we wanted to check out the famous Newton Food Center. Fun fact, this is where that scene, the Hawker Center scene from Crazy Rich Asians, was filmed. And there were plenty of different food stalls as well as people drinking beers. The vibes were awesome. We ended up getting a black pepper crab along with some satay skewers and sticky rice. Spoiler alert, the food wasn't that great, but we came here mostly for the vibes, and the vibes did not disappoint. Of course, we couldn't end the night without dessert, so here we are getting some chendol. Good morning, it's day 2 in Singapore, and we are getting our day started a little early today. We have a Airbnb photo shoot experience booked today, so there's somebody who's gonna help us take pictures. All right, let's go.
Don't run now. Okay. Yeah.
So we are currently at the Cloud Forest. It costs about 24 Singapore dollars for admission for each of us. We recommend trying to come before 11. I don't know if it's because we're here on a day where there's like a ton of field trips, but it is definitely jam-packed. And if you want that iconic cloud forest entry photo without a ton of people in the background, then definitely get here before 11. Maybe around 9. I feel like that would probably be ideal. Oh, but it's nice.
The last day goes, they expand and shrink. Memories blur faster than you think. Moments forever, the next just a blink. And this the last day time we sink or swim. So hold on tight to now, 'cause time will wait for you. And this the last day flow, each second's precious true.
So after the Cloud Forest, we headed over to Hong Lim Food Center for lunch, and by this point, we were borderline hangry, so we definitely had to get something to eat before we got into a fight. So we got this roast barbecue plate, which was okay. Then, after we were in a better mood, we decided to look around, and this stall with these roast duck noodles was calling me. And let me tell you, I think this bowl of noodles might have been my favorite dish from the entire trip. The roast duck was so flavorful and juicy, and it just surprised me how much flavor they could pack into there, and those noodles just soaked up all the rest of that flavor. Like, it was so good. And after that, we decided we needed around 2 or 3, I'm not really sure, but I lined up for these pork noodles that seemed pretty popular, and they were also good, but not as good as the duck noodles. And Andrew got something but ate the entire bowl before I could get a video of it. After lunch, we headed back to our hotel to get some much needed rest. Literally, that morning was so crazy, so we just wanted to chill. And then our hotel had this complimentary happy hour, so we had a couple snacks, had a couple drinks. So we're back at Gardens by the Bay for the light show. And earlier our photographer showed us this viewing spot, which is way less crowded. And we're just chilling here with our little fan. So right now we are waiting in a queue for the OCBC Skywalk, and they said it's going to take around 30 to 40 minutes, so we're just going to watch the show from here. After the light show, we headed over to Satay Street, and as the name suggests, this place is known for their satay skewers. What I loved about this place was that it was a hawker center in the middle of all these high-rises. It was such a vibe. We ended up getting some pork satay and then also these shrimp skewers, and both were amazing.
Been waiting for this all night.
Thanks for waiting.
Oh, I waited.
I know you did. I'm still salivating remembering how delicious the satay was. Each skewer was so tender and smoky and salty, and paired with that peanut sauce, it added just the right amount of sweetness to every bite. It was so good. Andrew also got this char kway teow, which was really good as well, but probably not the most memorable for me. After eating, we walked around the rest of the hawker center to see what other stalls there were, but around that time, a lot of things were already closed. Hey guys, so right now we're doing the Southern Ridges hike, which is about 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles. And I convinced Andrew to go. We'll see how far we actually make it, if we can make the entire 10 kilometers. Okay, so I think we only made it about halfway, so about 3 miles, before we decided to call it quits and go eat some chili crab. So this is Jumbo Seafood on the Riverwalk, and it was very highly rated. We first started off with these cereal prawns, which everyone said we had to get, and these were so good. I don't even know how to explain it. It almost tasted like cornflakes, but seasoned really well with like curry and MSG. It was delicious. Wow. The shrimp head? It's very tomatoey. Slipping. Go for it, babe. Go for it. Is it everything you hoped it would be? Look at the mess we made. Dang, I made such a mess. Oh, it's perfect. Tilt your head towards it a little. No, I meant your, like your whole. Yeah. And then back up a little. Yeah. Oh, a little less. Go back to where you were. One step forward. Tilt your head back. Yeah.
So you're gonna get the Amrita for sure.
Yeah.
I'll probably get the Teow.
Yeah, that one sounds good too. Cheers. Oh, that was a.
It's pretty bubbly.
It's good.
Oh my god.
Amazing?
Yeah.
Wow. That looks good.
It smells so good.
Yeah, let's get some.
Like, can we bring it on the plate? It smells so good.
Go for it. Big bite. Is it elegant? That's so good. It's like bacon. It's kind of cute. So after walking around Buja Street, we started getting a little bit hungry and stumbled upon this pork restaurant that served tonkatsu and kurabata pork chashu. And we thought it looked good, and man, it did not disappoint. Not only were there really generous portions, but the food was so tasty and everything was so affordable. Like, this pork chashu was so tender and delicious. And then the tonkatsu was so crispy, and it literally was just seasoned perfectly. We're going to Bali! And that's it for the Singapore vlog. Hope you guys stay tuned for part 2 of our honeymoon in Bali, Indonesia. Alright, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye!